Hey everybody, welcome back. We should probably lower the voice because we're going stealth mode on this new BenchMade Narrows. Now this is the 748BK-01. It is in the blue class line, but it is a stealth mode style knife. This is a follow-up to the original Narrows. This one's in all black. So what are your thoughts on an all black Narrows? We're gonna go over it. We're gonna compare it. What do you get in the box? You get your use and care manual, your Life Sharp warranty. Don't forget about the Life Sharp warranty. Nice padded box. We got to go there. You get your microfiber bag with the BenchMade on it, and of course, a beautiful knife inside. Are you ready for it? Let's get this opened up. Slow reveal. Now, there are some shimmers on that blade, and we're going to talk about it. Now, this is an access style lock on this knife. This is an upgraded version. I've really tried to get a name. They don't have one, but it's an upgraded version of the crossbar lock. But look at this beauty. Now, we got a couple things that we're going to point out and go over, but I just want to do a quick pass by so you can see this knife. Now, this does have a DLC coating on the blade. These handles, scales are titanium DLC coated as well. This has more of a powdery look to it, kind of a dull black. You have black hardware with the barrel spacers. Of course, the mini deep carry pocket clip. Now, this is right or left-handed tip-up carry. They did not forget about the lanyard fans, so shout out to the lanyard fans. Or maybe on this one, a small, quiet shout out to lanyard fans. Now, this has a similar build to the original Narrows. So they haven't changed anything internally. You do have that pivot. Everything's blacked out, except of course the logo, and a little bit of information about the blade, and of course the website for the patent, #copy. All right, so let's go over some stats on this one. Then we'll do some comparisons. Then we'll talk about a few things that I've already noticed since owning this one for a few days. Now, we talked about it. The blade steel, M390, and it's got a black DLC powder coat to it, but we'll talk about why it's kind of an oily look, shimmery look. Titanium handles and scales, DLC coated, which is really nice. It's got an all black look to it, as you can see far away. So you can go stealth mode. You kind of get into that ninja style. Now, if you noticed right there, a little bit of lock stick. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, they polished the blades prior to coating, which is what I was told gives them this little bit of kind of a faded look. It's really hard to show on camera. If you're able to get one in hand, definitely take a peek at it. Check out my Instagram. You can kind of see a little bit more detail in the photo, but it does have a little bit of reflectivity, as you can see, versus the scales, the handles, which don't have much reflectivity on that black coating. But from far away, you can tell without a light directly on it, it is an all black Narrows. Super, super thin. And let's go over the stats on that. So an overall length on this one, 8.02 inches. The blade length, 3.44 inches. The blade thickness, super duper skinny at 0.08 of an inch. The handle, when it's closed or open, the handle is 4.58 inches. The handle width is 1 inch. The thickness is 0.28 of an inch on the handle. So super duper thin. We'll compare it to a bug out. We'll compare it to a Griptilian. We'll compare it to a 940. But most importantly, we will compare it to the original Narrows that came out about a year or so ago. And this one's going to retail for $600, similar to last year's Narrows. And your BenchMade dealers have it right now for $540. So titanium, M390. Overall, what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments. I purchased this one with my own money. So go ahead, let me have it in the comments. Let's hear about it. Now, the upgraded access lock, we talked about that a little bit. I was hoping for like an Access 2.0 kind of a name for it, but it's just an upgraded version. You're going to see a little bit bigger version on this one coming out on the 710 series that's relaunching here this year as well. So we'll hopefully get some more information on it. The only negative I have now, we're going to do a couple little things. This one right here, that polished blade with the DLC coating. It does pick up fingerprints fairly well, and marks, those kind of things. We haven't tested out on any sort of markings, but it does pick up grease, fingerprint markings, those kind of things, similar to like a polished blade. So just expect that. You can use your included microfiber bag. You can bring your Hank with you, or just use your t-shirt, old school style, or just rock it dirty, rock it dirty in your pocket, those kind of things. One of the things I did notice, a little bit of crossbar lock stick. Now, I don't know if that's just a little bit of a burr on the back edge, or if that's actually because of the coating that is being placed on this hardware. You can see your pivots. You can see how to get into it, all those fun operations, those things. Super thin, super slicey. Let's make sure it's still slicey. I was testing out the other one just to see how slicey it was. So in comparison wise, it's going to give you the nice little curls that you want. Right out of the box, it's so thin. The edge is terrific. So overall, it passes that. But let's see, here's that little bit of stick right here. So as you can see, I'm going to try to break that in. If not, we will return it and get a different one. But I'm guessing because of the coating, similar to other BenchMades I've had, all the way from Griptilians to 940s to bug outs, some of that has come down to the coating on the hardware. And it's just where it meets the blade, right back here. You get a little bit of stick. I was given some information from an insider at the old BenchMade, a knife expert, that was sometimes if your normal operation, of this knife, it's going to work well. It's going to work desired. You get it a little bit harder in a flick. Sometimes you get that stick, sometimes you don't. So, like right now, that was a big, big stick. Sometimes that may travel a little farther than it's supposed to up the tang, So anyway, just wanted to bring that to your attention. Now it does pick up a little bit on the DLC coated handles, the titanium, but it doesn't pick up the fingerprints or those kind of things as bad. Has a little bit of oil out of the manufacturing, but that stuff just wipes right off. It is sleek. It is dark. It is beautiful. Let's compare it. Let's put a couple knives out here. Let's look at the bug out, right? This one is supposed to be 33% thinner than the original bug out, or the bug out in general. Overall, here's your blade comparison with your bug out. This is the 535BK-02, little glow rhino plug upgrade. Since we're not a lanyard fan, we can do that. There's your handle comparison. Here's your thickness of handle, so you can see how thin that narrows is. And you can see the difference in the thumb studs as well. They're going to be not as tall. They're going to be a little more shallow. So if you do an upgrade, like on this one, you got a glow rhino, thumb stud upgrade, they are going to stick out further than the stock ones. So just be mindful of that. Of course, I love this one. It's great. I love my bug outs. The narrows has been a good carry. Now let's compare it to the original with the blue accents. I like the blue accents, of course. Here is your comparison there. Just so you have an idea of what it looks like with light or no light. I want to try to give the best comparison possible so you can kind of, if you're not able to get hands-on with it, you can kind of see. I will be sharing these on my live stream. So that way, if you want to ask some questions, definitely check up on my live streams. Ask some questions in the live streams. We'll bring it out, whichever live stream it's on, and we'll kind of compare it from there. But I really like the original titanium with the blue accents. It's me. I'm a fan of the blue. Now, how cool would it be to maybe swap some hardware, put some blue on here? I don't know. Maybe we'll do that in the future. Now, maybe you're like, I'm not a bug out fan, but Zach, just like you, I'm a 940 fan. So you got an all black 940, right? You're like, these are the G10 ones. You can order these, benchmade.com, in their custom factory. or custom knife shop. So there's your difference in a comparison to a 940. And you can see the difference too in the blade coating that's coated, whereas these are polished and then coated. So you can see that little bit of reflectivity you're going to get out of that. Obviously much different on the handle size and thickness, of course. Major thickness difference. I like it. It's narrow. It's stealthy. It's kind of a black version that everybody was kind of talking about. A lot of people wanted to hear it, see it. So they did it. They made it. Now, let's say you have now obviously this is a satin blade. I couldn't find my black coated blade, but this is a full-size Griptilian, sheep's foot. Of course, this is your blade comparison. So you get a good idea of what it looks like. Pretty similar, blade shape overall, or not shape, but blade size, excuse me. Thickness is going to be a lot different on your blades on these two because the narrows is just so thin on there. So there's your handle comparison as well with the pocket clip. And then, of course, a big belly grip on the Griptilian compared to this narrows. So there is that comparison as well. Now, overall, like I said, my original thoughts on these, I think they're priced a little too high. That's just me as a consumer, as a Benchmade fan. I like the all blacked out one. I want to see how this blade holds up. Is it going to show scratches similar to, an all black coated blade? I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm new to this, so if you've had a knife like this or if you're familiar with polishing then coating, let me know down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this. It's kind of cool how they're doing it. Now, this one's made in the USA by Benchmade Knife Company. Again, it's the Stealth Black Benchmade Narrows, the 748BK-01. Overall, I think this is a nice feature to have and to see on this one. I think the price is the biggest hurdle for people, and so I understand that. And overall, I really look forward to the rest of the models that are coming up this year. But I wanted to give you a look at it. So we went and picked one up, and we're like, let's get it in the pocket. But here's that lock stick again. Pretty heavy lock stick. So just make sure, you can always ask your dealer, check for lock stick in the comments if you're ordering one, or if you call them on the phone, or if you go in person, double check that lock stick. That's all I would recommend. Standard operation, it's good. Overall, the only other thing is the detent, right? Most knives, you can flip them out. For example, let me grab one here. You can flip them out backwards, like this one. It's hard to do on camera. Hold on. So basically, I'm taking it backwards and flipping the blade out this way, in this direction. The narrows has got a weaker detent for that. I have not had any problems. This one's a little stiffer of detent, but not by much. I've not had any problems with this opening up in the pocket, just in case that's a question that you have and don't want to create any sort of emergencies or things. But overall, it's kind of that collector piece, an all blacked out version. I've already heard several people that have said, hey, I've ordered mine. It's coming. I like it. That's where we're at. Now, most importantly, as you know, on this channel, and I don't know, I can't remember if I mentioned the weight. The weight's 2.41 ounces. So that's the weight on this one. But most importantly, do something kind for someone. Hashtag DSKFS. And of course, have an awesome rest of your day. But most importantly, take care.